This is Bob Pritchie with World Service Institute. We're a nonprofit teaching corporation, and we use a lot of webinars in our internet work. We have people from all over the world that join us on these seminars and sessions that we give, and we have noticed that a lot of them have problems logging on. So we decided to put together this quick, informative video for you, and you could use this with just about any company that you choose to operate with that does webinars. The idea is that you either clicked on a link somewhere and were invited to join a webinar based on the subject material, or in the case of how we operate, we ask people to come to us through an email request, and then we tell them how to get connected. So this is an example of a memo that we would send to people that were going to join one of our webinars. Now this is just a dummy webinar for purposes of teaching. The key thing on this sheet is right down here. When you look at this connecting linkage, it looks very difficult, but it takes you to a registration page. And when you get to the registration page, you make that out, and then you get further instructions for how to connect. Now to save time, we're going to stop and fill this form out. Okay, we're back. We filled out this form, and there are a couple of things on it that we want to point out to you. First off, there's an error in our work, so we're going to fix that. And it's very important, what we're just talking about here, is that you got to make sure that your email address is in here correctly, because that is the email address that the webinar people are going to respond to when they tell you how to log into or register into, log on and get into the program. If you don't have it right, you won't make it. Now, the other thing is at the bottom of the sheet, right where our cursor is, it says register now. So we're going to click on that, and it kicks us out to either the webinar itself if we're getting timely, and this is the case here, it's going to connect us, or otherwise we might just have gotten a notification on an email to connect at the time that the meeting was actually taking place. Now this program hasn't started yet, so what you're going to get is a screen that looks like this, and you'll be sitting there waiting until the administrator starts the actual program. Now we're going to start the webinar right now so that you can see and hear what it sounds like. And then we're going to take time and show you some of the components that will help you to be more successful when you're using this and get there quickly. Okay, here we go. Now, the administrator or the group leader is starting up the program for the webinar. And you see that you're going through a connection mechanism here to get on.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, web events made easy. Welcome to the webinar. Please stand by. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line.
Okay, we're on the correct page, but nothing's happening yet because we haven't actually started the webinar. So what happens is people get on this page and they get stuck. Now, as the administrator of this program, I'm checking to make sure everything is okay, and it is. And I'm going to walk you through what's on this page. You have a control panel. You're waiting for the session to start, and it will start.
The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line.
It will start momentarily. what we're looking for here is what is the program that you're going to see. When you log on, you're seeing on the screen exactly what the leader of the discussion is trying to show you. And a show it of bouncing around, we're getting to the point that we wanted to make. Up at the top here you have a little panel, and that's your control panel. And you'll notice this arrowhead back.
The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line.
This little arrowhead here goes back and forth, and if you click on that, it expands a sheet or the drop-down menu. The thing that you need to understand is how to use this hand signal. When a webinar is running, there's two ways that the person running the meeting can acknowledge you. They can open up your mic so this doesn't say muted anymore, and then you can talk. Or you can raise your hand. So let's say I want to talk to somebody or get the organizer to pay attention to me. I raise my hand and he can see that on his control panel. You know that
Please remain on the line.
You know that your hand is raised because of this red arrowhead. The organizer might ask you to drop your hand, and if he says that to you, just click it one time and the arrowhead goes away and everything is fine. Now the second way that you can talk to the person that's running the show is you can ask him questions by typing in a question, and he'll try to answer you if he can. Now we're going to get started right now, so listen carefully to what you hear on the speaker.